If you watch the full 53 minutes, I don't think any sort of sane person could say that, because he was goading them repeatedly, and Trump was uncharacteristically diplomatic for a good 40, 45 minutes, sort of letting things go. And even JD Vance let a lot go through to the keeper until it just got too much. And one thing we've got to talk about is, again, morally, of course, Russia is in the wrong, Putin is in the wrong. They should not be invading a smaller country. They should not be taking advantage of the weakness in the White House at that time to do that. But we've also got to look at the reality that, as you said, Ukraine isn't going to win this war. We know that. So what are the options? And even some of the most ardent pro-Ukraine experts have clearly said there's three options. Either you give up and give Putin what he wants. Obviously, no one wants to do that. Or you continue this war, and if you actually want to win it, if you want Ukraine to win it, you've got to commit forces. You've got to commit ground forces. You've got to commit a lot more arms.
As Donald Trump said, you've got to gamble with World War III because the Russians have nukes.
It's probably going to spark World War III. And really, all those European countries who are coming and posting, tweeting about their support, even our own Prime Minister, are you willing to send troops? Are you willing to send troops? Are you willing to spend a lot more money to...
Who needs troops, James, when you dig up a couple of old bushmasters that are out in the desert there with sand in the petrol diesel thing and send them over?
Well, even that had to be dragged, kicking and screaming to providing.
But Rita,
or you do a deal. You do a deal that's advantageous to Ukraine. And that's where we were on the verge of, and now that's been entirely jeopardised. More people are going to unnecessarily die. This war is going to be prolonged. For what aim?
Well, the aim is very clear. It all boils down to the idea of some kind of security. Trump believes that that security comes simply through having American investment, having Wall Street invested in Ukraine with the rare earth minerals, that by itself, not only the people who are working there, but also the security apparatus that would surround that, is sufficient to deter the Russians. Zelenskyy believes that history tells him that's not the case. That's what the whole spat boiled down to. Let's take a quick look at a bit of it, basically where Trump is, pointing out his point of view.
No, in this entire meeting, you said thank you. You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television.
And he was right about that. Great television.
It was great. All he had to do, Zelenskyy, to finalise this deal was wear a suit, show the respect to the Oval Office, to the White House, show up, have the negotiations behind closed doors, have a nice little meeting in front of the world's media, say some damning things about Putin, and shake hands and walk away with a massive
there's something
win.
else he could have done.
But I tell you how badly he went. Almost immediately after, one of his biggest backers, one of the people who has fought hardest for more funding for Ukraine, has stood by Zelensky's side, has been a long-term friend of his, despite other than just the political support, is Lindsey Graham. And he immediately disowned him, which shocked me because I thought he would come out and say it was disappointing, but we've got work to do. Let's just have a look at what Lindsey Graham said immediately after.
What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelenskyy again. I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president, was just over the top. So I think the relationship between Ukraine and America is important. vitally important. But can Zelenskyy do a deal with the United States? After what I saw, I don't know.
And he went on to say Zelenskyy would either have to step down or dramatically change his approach to try to salvage something here.